Talking about this, I would like to ask us a question, and I need real-time feedback. Next slide please. What problems have you encountered in real life that school did not prepare you for? I need answers please. What problems have you encountered in real life that your school, whether when you went to primary, secondary, up to your tertiary, did not prepare you for? I need answers, okay?
We're not taught how to be successful in life.
Okay, yes, that's true. We're only taught to pass.
Another one is how to make money work.
Let's just say financial management. Okay, good. All right.
You don't taught us to be bold enough.
Okay, confidence. Confidence, yes, can you go there? We're not taught confidence.
We're not taught people management.
People management, yes, very good. And so on and so forth. Thank you so much for all your contributions. You see, if I give us the next 20 minutes, we'll keep talking about multiple problems that we have encountered in real life that school did not prepare us for. But you know, the thing is this. Let's face the fact. Do we have power to change our past? No. The past, what the teacher is saying. Do we have power to change it? No. But can we correct the future? Good. Now, all of these problems that some of us have spoken about today, and the ones that we even identified in our mind but did not talk about it, can we map out strategies of how to ensure that the next generation doesn't face that? So I'll use some of the examples that were stated. Someone talked about confidence. Now, if you're a class, can I see the classroom teachers? How many people teach in class? Please, can we give them a hand? A big hand. They are trying, As if you wrote the day, you should get Alright. Yeah, so if you're a classroom teacher, one of the ways that you can build confidence in your students is when you give assignments, all assignments should not always be submit. No. I'm not saying you should stop those ones. I'm saying everything should always be like that. Sometimes give them a group project. Maybe in your class you have, say, 30, or public school maybe 60. I don't know. You can group them into 5-5 or 10-10. Right? And then you give them an assignment to work together as a group. You know, when they are working together as a group, what are they learning? They are learning collaboration. Someone spoke about people management. They are learning collaboration. They are learning, Yoruba will say, Eniko, Je, Ada. Exactly. Okay, Eniko, Je, Ada, exactly. Which means you did not fly from one place, right? Good. So this method is going to do what? It's going to teach them collaboration, teach them how to work with other people, right? And then when they are done with that project, let them come and present it, one of them. And you see, a lot of times, probably when teachers want to choose that person to present, they like to choose best students, first in something, first in. No. You should alternate it. Give them the room to be able to come up. You know, they are starting in classroom. Remember, I said in the classroom. They are standing in front of maybe 30 children, 25 children, or 60 children. It's easier. Sometimes some of their classmates may probably laugh at them, but they are growing. If you do that, let's say once in a month, a child has opportunity to talk to their fellow classmates. Before you know it, their confidence will grow. Their confidence will grow. They do it again. Next term, they do it again and again. Gradually, they are learning to work with people, they are collaborating, and they are also getting more confident in the things that they do. Because no matter how brilliant you are, no matter how smart you are, if you are not able to articulate what you know, you're as good as the person that doesn't know anything. Right? So these are ways that you can build confidence in children in the classroom. And then when it comes to the home front, you know, one of the things that used to happen before, but it really happens so much again, is family eating together as one, right? A lot of times you buy, you want to gel here, plate yara, and all of those things. But when we come together as a family to eat, we discuss. And when your children are able to discuss with you as a parent, they are less likely to be timid when they are talking to an adult when they get outside. And this especially, I feel this role is especially for fathers. Because a lot of times we think training children is just for mothers. There's a way a child can confidently, in fact, let me put it this way. Any child who can confidently speak to his or her father will not be timid outside. I don't know if you've observed. If you are able to confidently talk to your dad, you will not be a timid child. So it is I'm already talking of problem solving, ways to combat that timid nature over shyness and all of these things in children. Let your children be free to talk to you. When they come back from school, ask them about the challenges they faced, not just like the first speaker rightly said, how are you? Fine. After fine, kilo shele. Do you understand? Okay, so for me, you understand? And maybe the child said, I was running and I fell. Okay, what have you learned from that? Right? Okay, so we need to learn all of these things. All right, next slide says, the future workforce, the leadership space, and global economy will reward one thing consistently: the ability to think, ability to adapt, and ability to solve real problems. Emphasis on real problems, because some people are busy solving problems that have expired. There was upon a time when we want to snap picture, we go and buy Kodak film. Abi, what is it? And then we negative, and then select. Who is doing that now? Nobody, right? So we need to understand that. So it has to be real problems, like the examples I gave you: Uber, Bolt, Childec, Glovo, and so on. All right. Yet many educational systems still prioritize memorization over innovation, which is not appropriate. Like I said, the jobs that these children we are currently teaching, they are going to do, some of them are not even existing. At a question, so influencer, TikTok, and see, Kila Motumayo in the next 10 years. In fact, what are we saying? ChatGPT, AI, did we know it 5 years ago? And before you know it, some people can barely do anything again. Have you better pay one more ChatGPT? Do you understand? So what do we know that is going to come up in the next 10 years? Some courses that children are still studying could come and they them, but let's leave that one somewhere, right? But even if they find themselves in such courses, the thing is they need to build a skill by the side. The age of I only go to study formal education without building skill is long gone. And one of the skills is not, yes, there's a place for vocational skill, but there's also a place for people skill. People management. People management is very important. Am I right? They just open their mouth and say things anyhow. But sometimes, if you look at it, most of them grew up at a point where parents felt that their own parents did too much. They now became over soft. Instead of trying to balance. They now became over soft. Anything. When you go right? So it's very important to do that. Okay, so let's take some steps on how to raise problem solvers for tomorrow. The first point I have is limit giving immediate answers. Limit giving immediate answers. Okay, let's assume Alasi ShopRite. ShopRite, what? Yes, very well. ShopRite. And the child is saying, I want to buy this. This, and then they say, I want this, I want this, I want that, I want that. Most times when your children ask you such questions, what's the response? Kosi, you are my economic tower. Do you understand? But instead of that, what are ways that we can involve children? You see, a lot of times, a máa ń rò pé àwọn ọmọ yìí wọ́n kéré wọn ọ̀gbọ́n, but a lot of them gbọ́n. When you see that, gbogbo ojú ọmọ kàmí, wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ gbogbo nǹkan, no problem. When you are going, before you leave the house, owó tẹ́tí mọ̀ pé fẹ́ ná, lay it before them. Bóyá let's say 10,000 naira, 20,000 naira, for instance. Let's even say 20,000 naira. You have told yourself láti lé o, 20,000 naira ni mo máa ná. Ó bá wù ẹ́ kójú ẹ̀ rí gbogbo nǹkan on your own, Ọ̀yọ́ ló wà, right? Then before you leave the house, you tell them 20,000 naira yẹn, mo rè o, gbà. Hand it over to one of them. And the, Yorùbá say dánwò ló bí yá ọ̀kẹ́rẹ́, àbí? You think say it is, you say try am, hand it to one of them. When we get to the mall, ẹ̀yin mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta àbí ẹ̀yin méjèèjì, whichever number of children they have, pick anything that you want. That money is all. In fact, if I'm in your shoes, make sure you don't carry any extra one kobo. Do you know what they are going to learn through that? Can someone tell? Yes? They are going to priority. They are going to learn to be prudent. They are going to learn budgeting and how to stick to your budget. You see, a lot of times, the reason why they don't believe this your budgeting and when you tell them this is all you have is because you are hiding the money from them. So when you say, Kosi, mi ò lówó, they'll say, my mommy, there's money inside our bag. And true, Tomashi bag, right? So you make them understand, yes, you may see more money in my bag, but it is not meant for this purpose. This, Tabara go control ShopRite, then the killer Malolola. Shama Amawoki Lola, Amaka. Do you understand? So the thing is, if tomorrow, if we spend everything today, what are we going to spend tomorrow? You're already telling them what? That they should plan for their lives. That every money that comes to them is not for shopping. And if I have a staff, and then, okay, the way my organization is, we give bonuses. There are criteria that help you get bonuses. And then I discovered that this particular staff, almost every month that she gets bonus, give her maximum 4 days. You'll be seeing new clothes. new clothes, every time, new clothes. In fact, I'm not exaggerating. It's not impossible that she can come to work for 3 weeks and not repeat one. What am I even saying 3 weeks? I'm sure 1 month she won't even repeat. So one day after she had worked with me for over a year, I called her. I said, come in. How much is in your savings? He said, nothing. I said, Kilo, you don't have savings. Do you realize that sometimes your bonus is in some months, your bonus is times 2 your salary? And then I now started teaching her how to budget, how to plan. More people go in Canberra. Do you understand? And then I told her she needed to go and get an account. And this particular account, I was going to inspect it. You must not have ATM for it. You must not have passbook. Okay, no passbook again. No have app, no have anything. Strictly savings. And and then she started learning. Now, I was fortunate to teach her, but imagine if as a boss I didn't care. She would probably continue her life like that, and one day she will wake up, she's 50 years old, Olakojo. Do you understand? So, budgeting, I said, I'm talking about limits giving immediate answers. So, you that used to tell them, Kosi, Tinubu Lawasi, something, right? Economy is bad. And if you look at it, from when I was young, they will say economy is bad. Or am I wrong? Have you not been hearing economy is bad? That's exactly. We be hearing economy is bad. Àwọn èèyàn náà kọ́lé lójoojúmọ́. Wọ́n ra mọ́tò lójoojúmọ́. Wọ́n jẹun lójoojúmọ́. Àbú. Exactly. Ọlọ́run máa fún wa ṣe. Alright. So limit giving answers. So all that kò sówó, economy, kìnìkan, replace it with giving it to them, let's budget. And we work with our budget and we come back home. And this also has to do with us as a parent. If you have set the budget, no matter how tempting that thing is to you at that point, resist making further purchase. Because if you make further purchase, what you are telling them is, even though I'm saying stick to a budget, I am not sticking to a budget, which is not a good way to teach children. Alright, another thing, still under this, let me give another example. Maybe children come to you and say, why do some people sell on the roadside? And then maybe you're fond of saying, okay, hold on now, and see, instead of answering them like that, how about asking them, what do you think? Make them do that. Sometimes they'll probably say, okay, maybe some of them cannot afford a shop. Sometimes they'll probably say they are trying to go closer to their customers and so on. But all of the mode in which you are choosing to answer them is helping to raise thinking children, not just children who are overly dependent. Because this is what we should need to. One house, please. I know item 7 is going round, but one house, please. Right. So for children, as much as they are learning, as much as we're trying to raise children that problem solve, it's very important that we create an environment for them to do that. Right? Because if we are always answering every question with straight answer, what we are indirectly teaching them is always depend on me. Always depend on me. So today it is small questions, but tomorrow is going to be life decisions. And I'm sure more than ever before, you would agree with me that you find multiple people who are in their late 20s and early 30s still living under their parents. Am I right? Am I correct? It is over-dependence. Where can you not go out and make life happen for yourself? They complain economy, but if you actually analyze this thing, your parents probably started their whole life at a way younger age. But because we chose everything, in fact, first Thomas study, we chose it. If you talk to my NYC, or daddy or mommy chose it. Everything you choose for them, and you want them to think about their life themselves, it's not going to happen that way. So it's very important to help them solve first their own life problems and later on societal problems. The next point under how to raise problem solver. Welcome mistakes. Please, can you say after me, welcome mistakes? Please, is there anybody here who has never made any mistake? Please show us. Like all your life. You have never. Everything, remember right? Please welcome mistakes. Welcome mistakes. There's nothing as good as your child being confident enough to come back to you and tell you something they did that is bad. Even if, when I was growing up, there's something my dad would always say to us. No matter what you do, you will always be my child. You will always be my child. And he really emphasizes that much more with his daughter herself. He will look at me and say, you will always be my daughter. And that thing gave me this confidence that no matter what anybody says outside, I'm loved at home. Right? So it's very important that you are able to welcome mistake. God forbid, let's even say God forbid, you have a daughter, Oboyunta. The deed has been done already. What do you want to do? Do you get? God forbid, right? If the child comes home, yes, you will not be happy. It's normal. But you shouldn't now push that child into worse danger. It has happened, it has happened. What can we do from here? Right? It's very important to be able to welcome mistakes. So let's assume now, for instance, your child is probably moving with some kind of friends. And as parents, because you have better experience, you have said, Oreto Mbari Oda. And like they always say, show me your friend. I'll tell you who you are, right? But the child, no, I'll be already none. Right? And sometimes money, nǹkan tí ọmọdé ò rí tó bá dìde dúró àgbàlagbà máa rí lórí ìjókòó ẹ̀jẹ̀ ẹ̀rọ mi lórí létí òwe. Mo ti sọ́tọ̀ àbí nǹkan tọ́mọdé ò rí nígbà tó bá dìde àgbàlagbà máa rí nígbà tó bá jó exactly. So you're probably seeing that child that this friend is a very bad one. Let's ask, but the child insisted, okay, talk, mo ti ṣe tèmi. Then later on, let's assume that the child now saw that bad side that you had seen earlier. And the child now told you. Most times it will be, also fine now, give borrow, do you understand? I mean, you understand all those things. Instead of that, why not ask the child, what have you learned from this? Because as much as you made a bad friend decision, you made a bad choice in friendship, if you don't analyze that, you are going to make that mistake again and again, right? So help your child to analyze it. How can we analyze it and ensure that it doesn't happen again? Another thing that is very common with children, they ask too many questions. Am I right? My mom is this, my dad is this. Within 1 minute, what is very maru, kilo David, you understand? Most times, as parents, because of course you're coming back from work, you're tired yourself. How are not coming from me? I'm still on point 2. Okay, alright, so you're coming back from work and then you say, you're disturbing me, people like joy, one more year. You want to go on the movie. Do you understand? Instead of that, why not analyze some of this talk, right? That's a good question. What do you think? If there's anything, I know you've heard a lot of things in this training and you are going to hear much more. But if there's anything, part of the thing I want you to really take home from today's session is learn to ask your children for their opinion. It doesn't mean that their opinion is final, but the idea that you're giving them that room to talk, it's a lot. It's going to build their confidence. It's going to make them help them become analytical. They can see situations and not just say, it is what my daddy says that it is. It is what my oga says that it is. No, because you cannot really be a star employee or a good business owner start thinking that way. The third point, give children age-appropriate problems to solve. So for instance, your 2-year-old child at home spills water, odominu, or domisile, right? It's not every time 2-year-old, so that child has known that if I spill this thing on the floor, I will have to fix my mess. So next time, what will the child do? Be more careful. Teach them how to share. One of the ways they can learn sharing is, okay, maybe they want to play with this particular toy, and you only bought this toy. 2 children, they want to play with it, and they say, oh yeah, no, that's not the appropriate thing. Teach them, you play with it for 10 minutes, go and check the time. 10 minutes, baby, do you understand? You're already teaching them to do what? To take turns. And if it's probably a game, maybe like Ayo, for instance, that they can all play together. They all sit together. They learn to share, and they're learning to build teams that way. The fourth point, I'm running. Focus on the process, not just the result. Number 4 now. Focus on the process, not just the result. You see, a lot of times, because we are only after kilogram, 10 over 10, kilogram, 8 over 10, kilogram, 0. 0 there. Asao now. Because we are only focused on the results, a lot of times children go all out only for results. And that's why you see sometimes, maybe out of 35 in the class, you were 33rd position. First 3, third position. Do you understand? But because you're train them to only focus on the results, not the process. There was something that happened to me when I was in SS1. Yes, let me quickly say it. Sorry, I'll be fast. When I was in SS1, after my SS1 first term, I had a fairly good result. But my biology, I had D7. So when I got home, I was already scared about it. And unfortunately, my dad was not at home. Me and my daddy's game. So it was only my mom that was at home. I said, hey, we are this woman today. So I now gave her my results. So she now looked at it. I thought she was going to scold me. She now said, one B Moyo. Mathematics A1, further maths A1, physics A1, chemistry A1. But I want to only A1. Biology, now I have this kilo shell. I said, Mommy, I don't like my teacher. That's what I told her. I said, I don't like my teacher. I don't like that man. He's always telling us to copy notes. He doesn't explain. So she was not like, okay, if your teacher is a problem, you know I cannot change the teacher in your school. I said, yes. He said, do you mind, after first term is Christmas holiday, right? Christmas holiday. So my mom asked me, do you mind sacrificing your Christmas holiday for biology lesson? I said, I don't mind. So she got me a good biology teacher. During Christmas, when people were chopping chicken, I was going for biology lesson, right? And I so learned well that by the time we resumed second term, I had over 90%. From D7 to over, I can't remember whether it was 91 or 95, I can't remember. From D7 last term to 90-something%. Right? Which showed that because she was able to help me analyze the problem. If she had yelled at me, Olodo, kí ló ń ṣe? Nígbà tó orí tó fi gbé mask kọ́lọ́ gbé biology ni, we will just still be dragging with ourselves. Not if he didn't do, he didn't do. Do you understand? But because she helped me to analyze the situation, and she was ready to commit to the solution. And of course, I did my part, because of course my mother did not read for me, right? I did my part, and I was able to achieve that result. So it's important to not just focus on the result, but the process. Process is key. You see, Oh, this attitude of only result, òun ló jẹ́ kọ́ lọ́ máa ṣe yahoo yahoo. Ipe kasha lówó by all means, òun ló jẹ́ ká máa ṣe. So we have to improve on focusing on the process than the result. Or than the result only. Yes, the fifth point, encourage multiple solutions. Yoruba people will always say something, ọ̀nà kan ò ṣe kí ni, ọ̀nà kan ò wọjà. And it's like that in life. If you're probably insisting that your child must study medicine, your child must be a lawyer, if you náà fẹ́ jẹ́ ìyá lawyer, tí lọ́ọ̀ bá ń wù yín ṣe, ẹ lọ pa fọ́ọ̀mù, kẹ́yìn náà wọ wíìgì. Right? It's the truth. Kẹ́yìn náà wọ wíìgì. Mo kọ́ gbọ́dọ̀ pè mí ní ìyá lọ́yà. Mo gbọ́dọ̀ pè mí ní bàbá dọ́kítọ̀. It's the most important thing is for them to build a successful career. It doesn't have to be all these stereotype things, right? So when things come, when situations arise, and they need to make a decision, make them understand that there are multiple solutions. If I train them in a way that they bring you for any problem they bring to you, before they bring it to you, they should think of at least 2 solutions. So you may probably give the third, but at least comment the fact that olopolo kini kan wà upstairs tó ti ẹ̀ lè ronú kan méjì sí mẹ́ta. Do you understand? Because when you train them like that, you are helping them develop a lifestyle of problem solving. A lifestyle of problem solving. So whether later in life they are employees or business owners, they can solve problems for themselves. I hope you know that there are business, because sometimes people feel, I'll set up my child in business, or business motivate, continue. But all around Nigeria, I'm sure we know that there are several businesses that used to exist that no longer exist, isn't it? Iboloki biscuit wale, short cake nko, okay, and so many. Mi ò rántí ọjọ́ tí mo rí big viral kan last. Standard exercise book, wonder. Okay, onward exercise book. Ole ni wale ajirula dada, exactly. You know, and so on and so forth. So even if you run a business already, if your child does not learn to problem solve, that business is likely going to die in their hands. Like the first speaker said, the 6th, model problem solving loud. When you have challenges, you can talk about it to your children. Don't always act perfect. That idea of first. So on social media one day said, if all our parents were first, that don't make last. Do you understand? Yeah, so you need to model problem solving. Sometimes talk to your children about the challenges you faced when you were their age. You don't know how far that's going to help them. Because they see it as, if you face this challenge and you were able to overcome it, then I can do it too, rather than acting perfect. 7th point, teach patience with difficult problems. When they have a big problem, break it into steps and then they can solve it. My last one? Let children experience consequences. Okay, let me tell a small story. FC is already here, I'll soon be leaving. Let children experience consequences. Let them understand that there are consequences for action. I stopped bedwetting in nursery 2 and I still remember what made me stop. That day, I bedwetted. I was in nursery 2. So my mom came to wake me up and she saw that everywhere, Agbara Ojo. So she said, "You want more at this age? You are still bedwetting. Don't worry, I know what to do." She carried my mattress and she said she was going to take it to school. And I know that my mother is talk and do. She's not Jojo. So I started crying. I shall go ready. So when the driver came, she told the driver, "Park motor here, park put here, she put here, and she practically the vehicle. And I was the class captain. Me that used to ride dressmaker. And I remember how they used to sing for people. Ọjọ́ wo ló tọ́ sílé, tọ́ sílé. I begged my mother. I cried ocean, river Niger and Benue. With the help of the driver, she allowed me. After that day, I've never been promoted. She didn't beat me, but because she made me realize the consequence. The consequence was Tobato, mattress here, out of school. Do you understand? I did not regret after that day. Okay, so I'll end by saying the best way to raise a problem solver is to become one yourself. Because your children will hear what you say, but they will do what you do. Thank you very much.
Your children will hear what you say and do what you didn't hear that. Your children will hear what you say and do what you do. Let's give Moyotisha a Train the Trainer Summit salute. 1, 2, go. Are you learning something? Do you calm down? One house. I said no PD, no political rally. Please calm down. I told you that we're going to feed your mind and your stomach. Have we done that? All right. So we're going to take some questions now. You have questions? If you have a question, let me see your hand now. We want to make it as interactive as possible. I told you to write your questions. If you've written your questions, you can bring them to me. If you have your question here, just let me know. Okay. Shine the light. Shine the light. Shine the light. Okay. So this question is from Alhaji Mashood Olawale, Secretary, Community Development Council, Ido Local Government Area. Ido Local Government Area. What role do religion and community, please, one house. Can we calm down? We cannot have two MCs. Thank you very much. What role do religion and community in shaping responsible future leaders? That question doesn't look accurately constructed. The second question, how can trainers effectively mentor young people to become responsible leaders? 3, how can parents correct children without damaging their self-esteem? All right, we have some of our speakers here, and they will do justice. Who do I go with? You're the first speaker, right? Oh, you've not spoken. Where's our first? Okay. But you can respond to any of the questions. Anyone that you feel. There are 3 questions. Let me take it again. What role do religion and community play in shaping responsible future leaders? 2, how can trainers effectively mentor young people to become responsible leaders? 3, how can parents correct children without damaging their self-esteem? All right,
let me go first. I'll talk about how parents can correct without damaging self-esteem. There are so many ways children can be corrected, and 2 of the examples I gave while I spoke are examples of how I was corrected. First, the biology, second, the bedwetting, right? Both of them corrected it. So it's like I said, the best way to be a problem solver is to be a problem solver yourself. So you probably want to start reading articles on how to be a problem solving adult, right? Because when you encounter issues with your children, you can there are different ways you can correct them without even being harsh. They have done something. Okay, why did you do it? What made you think of doing it? Okay, maybe a particular friend said I should do it, and then you ask the child, do you understand? So these are different ways in which you can correct your child. But always understand, when correcting, understand something. You are correcting the attitude, not damaging the child. Right? If that is always your focus, how can I help you discontinue this behavior? Not how can I kill you, give you quieter. Right? That's not my motive. My motive is to correct the attitude, because this can be changed, and it is easier to bend a fresh fish than a jagwe. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. Let's give her a big round of applause. Now, this question is very special. Now, it is directed to, you thought Get Digital, Abi? Directed to you. How can parents become digital? A parent is asking, how can I as a parent become digital? Please, one house.
Okay. I think that's the entire session we had. But just to, make mention of some pointers. I would say number one, practice what I call here critical thinking as a firewall. And what that means is, number one, learn how to verify sources, ask questions. Ask questions. Who wrote this? Where did they get the post? And how to find facts. I also mentioned that as a parent, you should shift from restriction to governance. And what I mean by that is, don't give, number one, I already gave an example earlier when I said, don't just give children instruction, give them guidance on how to do what they need to do. So for you as a parent, you can move by moving yourself away from, I'm already an elderly person, I actually have the mindset of learning, by actually learning. Look for programs online, resources online that you can learn from. Attend programs like this, another one that are organized around you, and participate in them. Number three, look for a community of people that already know what you want to learn, and then be humble enough to learn from them. I think that's a good way to get started. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Shine the light. Shine the light. Shine the light. Let's stand up a bit. Let's do some little exercise. Please, I don't like the fact that we have multiple meetings inside this hall. All right, let's stop the multiple meetings inside the hall. If you want to have a meeting, go outside, please. Are we together? Shine the light. Shine the light. Shine the light. All right. So we're gonna do something. I need two people, one from this high, one from this high, two persons. One man, one woman. Please come. Thank you. Can I get somebody from here? I need somebody from here. Anybody from here? All right, thank you. I'm not calling you. A woman I call. Woman. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Just stand in front. These two people, they will be my assistants for today. Stand closer. Stand closer. Let's just do something before Who have not eaten? You've not eaten. Let me see your hand. But we've given you food. Okay, it's good that you're fasting. Thank you. All right. So we'll do some. Anything they do, you will do it. Is that okay? I got this from our global coordinator, so we're going to try it here in Ibadan. But our DJ, you have sound, right? You have soundtrack, right? All right. So any step they take, you will take that step. And we'll begin with ladies first. All right? You know, we still have 2 more speakers to go, and they have something interesting to share with you. Are we good? We don't have it?